Hello, welcome. I am Angelica. I am your host and content creator for the Ugly Truths podcast. So, today we're just going to jump right into it as usual. I kind of wanted to pick your brains about something and dissect because I'm interested and I feel like I can help a few of you out. So, I'm going to give you a scenario. That scenario starts off with you moving into a new apartment. As you're moving into your new apartment, you bring, a few things that you've already had. The TV, not a flat screen TV though. You got the TV with the back attached to it. Yep. And then you got the sofa, and the sofa still got the plastic on it, with the stains on the plastic. Matter of fact, the plastic is turning a hinge of yellow. Yeah. And then you got the washer and the dryer, but the dryer only works if you bump it 3 times. So my question is, in the situation, you obviously want better for yourself. You don't want that dryer you gotta bump 3 times. You want it to just work. And Lord knows that big back TV takes up so much space. So much space. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to want to get new things, right? But in order to get the new things, you have to throw the old things out. And I don't think that ruffled y'all's feathers enough for me, so I'm going to go more in depth. You cannot bring new things in with old habits, old friends, old desires, old situations that no longer serve you. You can't. That's not possible. It's not going to happen. You have to clear the space and make space for new things. And I feel like a lot of us are holding on to things that literally no longer serve us. Situationships. Let's start there. You got these people around you that don't add anything to your life. Matter of fact, they drain you. And you still decide to be around them. Why? Because you're lonely? Because you want somebody to feed your triggers, right? You don't want to feel alone. You don't want to feel like you're not desired, like nobody's ever going to be with you. You have to eventually let that go. You can't sit here and be with people that mean you no good just because you're afraid of being alone. And you know that already. You know that. You know that. There's nothing new to you. You felt it before. You still feel incomplete when you're around this person. And if something better comes along, you're going to go for that because you're settling right now. Instead of waiting for somebody to come along, be that somebody to come along and pick yourself up. Because right now you're postponing something that could be much greater than what you have. Whether it's the love of yourself or the love of somebody else. Let's also talk about friends. Let's get into friends. Y'all hang around these people that literally have nothing going for themselves. Don't add anything to your life. Not a penny, not even a penny, not a drop of knowledge. They add nothing to your life but fun times, and y'all hang around these folks as if they're making you millionaires, as if they're being conducive to your life. Where is that getting you? I'm not saying to cut them off cold turkey, but be aware that the people that you do hang around, that is your future, whether you believe it or not. Oh, I'm sure I'll not be like them. Yeah, until you get into a situation and you need their opinion on something or their validation for something, and all of a sudden you're listening to what they have to say as if they have anything going on in their lives. And y'all have these friends that when y'all leave their presence, you feel drained for whatever reason it is. Why do you still decide to hang around that? Why? Because if you don't, you won't have any other friends. That's okay. That is okay. There is nothing wrong with being alone for a while, because I promise you, God got some new friends for you around the corner. God has a new partner for you around the corner if you let go of the old habits, the old desires, and the old you. Because the new you won't have space for that. The new you won't have space for things that no longer serves you. And what's crazy to me is that you feel it in your gut. You feel it when something is not for you anymore. But you're just so terrified. You're so terrified of being alone. You're so terrified of what they will think of you. But tell me what's more terrifying. Losing yourself in the midst of people that don't even deserve to be in your life, or actually having yourself whole in entirety? Which one's terrifying? Please let me know. Please. Be realistic. The second thing is, one thing I noticed for me, I got this from Sarah Robert Jakes. I believe that's her name. T.D. Jake's daughter. I got this from her. And she spoke on being... I'm sorry, y'all. That's the train. She spoke on being loyal to your fears. And to be loyal to your fears is basically to be loyal to things that you know are keeping you back. Another word for that is self-sabotaging, because you don't feel like you'd really be successful if you did the things that you need to do. That is self-sabotaging at its finest. And all I have to ask is for you to imagine who you could be outside of your triggers and your traumas. Who could you be? Who would you be? Who are you going to be? And the other thing is, I understand, people have situations and they're saying, you may not understand what I'm going through or why I've been subjected to this, to choosing the situationship. You don't understand the backstory of it. Or this friend that I've been tight with since elementary school, you don't understand this person. No, what I do understand is that there is nothing new under the sun, and nobody on this earth is a person that has not been through what you're going through right now. I'm not saying everybody has been through it, but what I'm saying is your situation is not taboo. Somebody on this earth has been through it before. And I guarantee you, somebody has gone out of that situation. So that means there's a solution for what you're going through. And the only thing keeping you from getting out of solution is you. The only thing keeping you from getting there is literally your fears. And I have to ask, why? And I understand therapy is expensive. And there's limited resources out here. Nobody is really honestly, wholeheartedly trying to cure or fix your mental health. I get that. You're literally fighting alone. You're fighting for yourself. You're fighting every single day. Just to breathe, just to make it through the day. Well, here are some tools from me to you that may be helpful. Stop feeding in to those thoughts in your head. I believe there's at least two parts to people. There's the part that tells you can do it, you got this, and that's the part that we had when we were kids. That's the undying part of hope, the better half of us. And then we have the part that when we grew up, we were told that we can't do that, we shouldn't do that. The part that basically quieted that adventurous kid that was fearless. And that eventually overpowers the adventurous in us. It overpowers the fearlessness. And we become so tied into the limits that people have set on us, on what we should and should not do, and what we can and can't do. And not only that, but you also have to stack on your triggers on top of that, your insecurities of being alone. And that's a lot to handle. That's a lot to unpack. So what I'm going to tell you that helped me was visualizing who I could be. Whether nobody believes in me or everybody believes in me, I don't care. Because believe it or not, your reality is what you created. Literally, 100%. Your reality is what you create. Nobody else's opinions matter. Nobody else's validation matters besides yours. And for that reason being, you literally have to visualize yourself where you want to be in the future. What do I want for myself? Get at least 3 things, 3 goals before the year is over that will put you in that space to achieve what you set out to do. Just 3 things. 3 things. It could be 3 small things, 3 big things, 3 things that you know will achieve you. Not achieve you, Jesus Christ. Will help you achieve what you're trying to do. Just 3. I'll tell you my 3. My 3 starts off with building more networking friendships with people in the area that I want to be in. The second is to graduate. This is my last semester. Woo woo, you know what I'm saying? It's my last semester. And that third thing is to become financially stable. So with each of those, the first one, networking with people in spaces that I want to be in. I begin opening my horizons for friendships and people that I entertain and interact with. I network with people. I talk to people. Because before, you couldn't catch me putting myself out there for that. The second thing. What is the second thing I said, y'all? I forgot. Lord have mercy. Graduating. What am I doing to graduate? I am currently going to school. I'm currently going to my classes, studying for my tests, completing my assignments in a timely manner. What is the third thing I'm doing? Financially stable. Getting my credit in order. Paying my bills on time. You know, these are small steps, yet very impactful to what I'm trying to complete, to who I'm trying to align myself with, which is my highest self. Which I would also like to add, your highest self is who God ordained you to be. And for you to achieve that, you have to let go of what is postponing. That is not a word. God dog it. That is not a word. Postponing what he has for you. You have to take those things that is crowding the space of what God has for you. Because all you're doing is setting back the time you have for your greatness. What's destined for you? What is yours? And let's break it down a little bit further before I wrap it up. You don't find that suspicious that every time you think of something great, there's a little voice in you telling you that you can't do it, that you won't be successful. It's asking you, what do you think that people will think about you? And you listen to it every single time. Every time it keeps you in this small little bubble, and you allow it to keep you at your lowest self. You may have days where you strive sparingly throughout the year, but how often have you had days where you strive to the fullest, highest extent of yourself? You achieve everything you set out for yourself to do. How many days does that happen? To where you defeat all the odds, all the doubt, all the fear, all the anxiety, and you just drop those worries and you say, I'm about to get to it. I'm about to do it. Regardless of what anybody says, I'm going to be my own motivator. I'm going to put the situationship behind me because I know I deserve better than this. I'm going to put this sneaky link behind me because I know I deserve more and better than this. I am not a bed bug. Why do you only want to see me at nighttime, child? Okay? No, ma'am. Why does my friend only call me when she needs something from me? Drop it. Drop them. Drop them. Because it's not conducive to who you want to be at all. Whatsoever. So why do you still entertain it? Literally. Just ask yourself that. Ponder on that question. Why do I continue to entertain things that no longer serve me? What trigger is this feeding? And what happens if I stop entertaining it? What would that look like? Would I be able to live? And I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, you would be able to live because you've had worse days than this and worse situations than this. And you made your way out. You found a solution and you kept pushing and thriving forward. Another thing I want to tell you to do is to get out of survival mode. Get out of whatever is putting you in survival mode. And start living a peaceful life, because that's what's going to happen when you set back and drop all those things that are keeping you from being your highest self. That's what's going to happen. I guarantee it. That's what's going to happen. Let's say you do drop that person. Not the last person around this world. Not the last person in this world whatsoever. Not the last person you're going to meet either. But you know what's telling you that? Your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. Gain some self-confidence, because you're more than a sneaky link. You're more than somebody that should be with somebody who's undecided about them. One thing you should be about you is 100% sure about you and what you bring to the table and what you offer and value to somebody else. You are more than that. Now, if it's just a late night buddy and y'all both agreed on those terms, whatever, that's on y'all. Y'all do y'all. I ain't no judging. Ain't no none of that. Y'all do you. And if these friends, you limited your time around them, they're just there when you want to have fun. No judging, no none of that. You do you. You do whatever fits your situation. But if it is in the way of you becoming who you're supposed to be, you need to drop it. If there is a hairstylist out here that you have, and every time you tell her I want my hair straight, and then she add the bump to it, you need to drop it because she's not listening to you, and nor is that hairstyle being aligned to who you want to be. Okay, drop. I don't play that. You getting dropped. Because once again, your presence is costing me more than I would like. Your presence is costing my peace. All this going back and forth with girls and boys, men, women. Stop going back and forth with these people. Stop going back and forth. Drop them. Stop going back and forth with your friends. Drop the conversation. Or drop them. Okay? That job that's overworking you, find a new source of income because it is out there. Get on the look for it, because for some reason, y'all would like to be around known demons rather than new demons. Y'all wanna stick close to what you know. Y'all wanna be complacent. And there is no growth in complacency. You cannot grow if you are complacent. Understand that you only grow when there are new challenges presented before you. That is the only time you grow, because other than that, you're going to stay right where you at and you're going to keep receiving what you want to receive. And this podcast today is not here for that. We're not here for that today, baby. We're not here for that today, baby. You got to grow. You got to come up out of that. And the crazy thing is, I know y'all want to come up out of that. I know y'all do. But y'all just have these little ties tugging at y'all that's telling you can't do it. You're not going to be successful with it. You're going to feel alone. And one thing I know, for me personally, I gain the most strength when I just do it. And you're going to feel so much relief. You cut that person off that you want to so desperately be with, that you're in a situationship with, you're going to feel alone. You're going to feel all the emotions that you were so scared of feeling. And that's where the growth comes from. That's where that character development comes from. That's where that self-love comes from. Where you realize that I deserve more than this. I want more for myself. I did not come in this earth to be somebody else's emotional servant while they drain me and take everything that I have. No, ma'am. Drop them. You are not friends with people to just be their servant to what they need from you. You should not just be getting calls from them and that's it. Nobody's coming to check on you. Nobody's asking if you good. Drop them. They're not adding anything to your life. Stop keeping them around, because one term that means so much to me now that didn't mean anything to me in the past is I can do bad all by myself. If I wanted somebody around to lay up with me that does not add anything to my life, I do that by myself. I can bring myself down by myself. I don't need somebody else to add on to that. If I wanted friends that were leeches, I'd be leeching off myself. I'd be spending my money poorly by myself. I'd be wasting my energy and my time by myself. I don't need people to do that for me. I can do that by myself. So instead of having people around you that kind of tear you down, break you down, drain you, bringing people around you that are going to lift you up. People that add value and substance to your life. That's how I see things happening for y'all. That's how I would love to see y'all grow. No longer being with people that mean you no good. No longer self-sabotaging because you're so afraid and you're constantly being loyal to the same fears that keep you complacent. And one thing I know 100% is that God wants more for you. I want more for you. And I know you want more for you. But to do that, you have to let go of whatever is keeping you back there. Because whatever it is postponing what you truly need, what you truly desire, and what God has for you. And that is when I wrap it up. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. It would mean so, so, so much for me. Why do I keep talking like that? It will mean so much to me. If y'all will like this podcast, if you're on Apple, rate it, write a review for me. Let me know how I'm doing. If y'all would just share it on Spotify. And I also forgot to say that I'm now on Google Podcasts as well. So if you have an Android, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm just kidding. Feel free to listen to my podcast on Google Podcasts if you have an Android. I made that just for y'all because I know all my listeners don't have the luxury of having an iPhone. Once again, I'm just joking with y'all. I'm just kidding, y'all. Don't beat me up. But as always, I love y'all. I love y'all so much, y'all. I love y'all. And I want to thank y'all for listening. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.